Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Jeffrey Epstein Show. I'm your host, Bobbycapucci, and this is a morning update. What's going on, everybody? Hope that your weekend's going well so far. Hope that your Sunday is just as good, if not better, than the rest of the weekend was. Today on the podcast, we're going to talk a little bit about the warden who was in charge of the MCC when Jeffrey Epstein died, and how this warden is now being moved to another position of power within the prison system. You know, it makes me ask myself, what in the hell is going on? So you're telling me that Tova Noel and Michael Thomas are both being brought up on charges, and this man who was their superior, who was the boss, the guy who was in control of the whole shebang, is getting moved to another position of power, another position where he's in charge of inmate safety and in charge of the guards? What could possibly go wrong with a move like this, folks? And why would you be making a move like this? Why isn't this man suspended? Why is this man still working during this whole entire investigation, quote unquote, that they have going into what happened that night? And why is he being moved to a different place? I mean, what is this, the Catholic Church? That's what the Catholic Church did with priests that they were trying to hide. Are they trying to bury this man somewhere else, or is this his reward? What's the deal, folks? Well, in this article this morning, hopefully we'll get a little bit of a better idea of what's going on. But me personally, this smacks of just, again, a terrible decision. Just an absolutely, positively terrible decision by the Department of Corrections and ultimately Bill Barr. Now, remember, guys, I'm an accountability person, right? I believe in accountability at the top. Now, don't get me wrong. Everyone has to do their fair share. If, as an employee, you have to do your fair share. You have to do your job. You have to make sure you're accountable for what you need to be accountable for. But at the end of the day, the buck stops with the person in charge. And Bill Barr and this warden and everybody else who let Jeffrey Epstein die in their custody is involved. They're all culpable, right? So why is it just Tova Noel and Michael Thomas are the only ones that have any charges against them? They're the only ones that have had their lives upended. And again, don't get me wrong, they were very neglectful. They were very you have to do your job, right? You have to do your job. But why is it that they're the only two that are facing any punishment at this point? You see, folks, again, it's the two-tiered justice system on full display. Certain people get the hookup deal while other people get buried. And it's gross to see. And we have seen it. This case makes it very, very apparent. This whole entire Jeffrey Epstein case makes it very, very apparent that we live under a two-tiered justice system where you and I will never get a fair shake. All right, so this article is by ABC. It was posted by ABC News, but it's by the Associated Press. The authors were Michael Balsamo and Michael R. Sisak. So this was an article from a couple of days ago, but it kind of slipped through the cracks with all the other stuff I had going on with Dubin, et cetera, et cetera. So figure we'd get to it today, we'll lay it out this morning, and see what they have to say about this whole entire ridiculous situation. If you'd like to contact me, you could do that at bobbycapucci@protonmail.com. That's BOBBYCAPUCCI@protonmail.com. All right, let's hop into this story and see what's what. The warden in charge when Jeffrey Epstein ended his life, allegedly, in his cell, is being moved to a leadership position at another federal correctional facility, putting him back in the field with inmates despite an ongoing investigation into the financier, pedophile's death. Two people familiar with the matter told the Associated Press. How is that even possible? Why is this guy getting another shot? What is he, Wade Phillips? I mean, it is so terrible. You're telling me there's no other qualified people in the prison system, no other employees that could do this job better than this person. Okay. The Federal Bureau of Prisons is planning to move Lamine Ndai to the role at FCI Fort Dix, a low-security prison in Burlington County, New Jersey, the people said. The move comes months after Attorney General Barr ordered Ndiaye to be reassigned to a desk post at the Bureau of Prisons regional office in Pennsylvania after Epstein's death, as the FBI and the Justice Department's Inspector General investigated. Well, there you have it, folks. I mean, he was being investigated. I guess he's not anymore. I guess that Mr. Ndiaye gets off scot-free here. Went and did a little bit of desk work, basically a vacation for a couple of months, waited for the smoke to settle a little bit, for the dust to clear, and bang, gets himself a nice another gig working as the boss of one of these agencies. How awesome must it be to be one of the chosen ones, huh? How awesome must it be to be part of the cabal? One of the people said the agency planned to move Ndiaye into the new role on February 2nd. The people spoke to the AP on condition of anonymity to discuss an internal personnel matter. Well, yeah, of course, they have to do that. They can't come out and say it on the record because, that would blow the plans of their devious bosses right out of the water. I mean, we all know how secretive the Justice Department is. We all know they don't want to give us information about anything. So why would they be clear? Why would they be transparent in this situation? Why would we expect them to do the right thing? I don't expect the Justice Department to ever do the right thing at this point. Well, unless, of course, you're not rich, unless, of course, you're not connected, unless, of course, you're not protected by intelligence. It was unclear why the agency was planning to return Ndiaye to a position supervising inmates and staff members, even though multiple investigations into Epstein's death remain active. The Inspector General's investigation is continuing, and the Justice Department is still probing the circumstances that led to Epstein's death, including why he wasn't given a cellmate. Well, folks, that's it. Let's pack it in. I'm never going to talk about the story again. There's no need. The investigators are investigating the investigators. They're on the job, folks. We can trust them. We can trust them, okay? Bill Barr and his buddies are going to get to the bottom of this. Yeah, okay. Epstein took his own life in August, allegedly, while awaiting trial on charges he sexually abused girls as young as 14 and young women in New York and Florida in the early 2000s. Epstein's suicide, allegedly, cast a spotlight on the Bureau of Prisons and highlighted a series of safety lapses inside a high-security unit of one of the most secure jails in America. It highlighted a series of safety lapses inside a high-security unit in one of the most secure jails in America. But in the same breath, they're saying, suicide. Guaranteed this is a suicide. We can believe the government telling us this is a suicide, but let's not believe them about this other stuff. No, it's a zero-sum game at this point, folks, all right? I'm not going to pick and choose what I believe from these guys. I believe everything they tell us is a lie. Barr said Epstein's ability to take his own life in federal custody, allegedly, had raised serious questions that must be answered. He said in an interview with the AP News in November that the investigation revealed a series of mistakes made that gave Epstein the chance to take his own life, allegedly, and that his suicide, allegedly, was the result of a perfect storm of screw-ups. Or was it? All right, screw-ups? Or was it a perfect storm of look the other ways, Mr. Barr? Okay, you're not a trustworthy ally in this either, Mr. Barr. You stink to high heaven, sir. You stink to high heaven, and I don't trust you for a second to do the right thing. You've been ensconced in Washington your whole life. You've been running with these people your whole life. Why should we think that you're going to step up to the plate and be the man to put an end to all of this? Sorry, I don't buy it. 2 correctional officers responsible for watching Epstein have pleaded not guilty to charges alleging they lied on prison records to make it seem as though they had checked on Epstein as required before his death. Instead, investigators say they appeared to sleep for 2 hours and had been browsing the internet, shopping for furniture and motorcycles, instead of watching Epstein, who was supposed to be checked on every 30 minutes. Must be nice. Furniture and motorcycles, huh? On your prison guard salary? Living in New York? Got a lot of disposable income, huh? Must be nice. I must be in the wrong business. Maybe I should jump onto this prison guard job. You don't get in trouble if someone dies, unless of course you're a low-end person, I guess. But you could sit around, you could shop for motorcycles, some furniture. Must be nice to have all that dough. The Attorney General also removed the agency's acting director in the wake of Epstein's death and named Kathleen Hawks Sawyer, the prison agency's director from 1992 until 2003, to replace him. Another retread, folks. Another Wade Phillips. So you're telling me Kathleen Hawks Sawyer is the only person capable of being the director, huh? The only person able to do the job. Boy, what a shit show inside of the Department of Corrections, folks. What an absolute shit show. They have to keep recycling people. This Endai guy goes and gets another gig somewhere. Imagine you're one of these inmates. You're one of these inmates that he's going to be overseeing, or a guard. How, as a guard, could you look at this guy and not laugh your ass off? I mean, how can you slap these two, Tova Noel and Michael Thomas, with the charges that you slapped them with, and then this guy who was in charge of the whole entire shebang on the night it happened, meaning he's in charge of those guards, whatever they do, the buck stops with him, right? He's the boss, he's responsible. Well, he gets a new gig at an even easier facility, while the two guards, well, they're screwed. You see what I mean here, folks? Do you see why it's so ridiculous? You see why it's so just disgusting on its face? These people are just completely and utterly protected and insulated, and there is no repercussions for them, even when they screw up. Even when they screw up. Since Epstein's death and Endai's removal as warden, the Manhattan jail has had two interim leaders. The newest warden, M. Lacone Vitale, used to oversee a federal prison in Danbury, Connecticut. Her first big order of business has been to deal with jailed lawyer Michael Avenatti's complaints about his treatment at the lockup. The Bureau of Prisons has been plagued for years by chronic violence, extensive staffing, shortages, and serious misconduct. Guess what it hasn't been plagued by, though, folks? It has not been plagued by suicides. All right? They try and make it seem like this place is just rife with suicides and people killing themselves. And no, literally does not happen there. Okay? Epstein is one of very few that has happened in the last few decades. All right? And, of course, with Epstein, we're not even sure what happened. All right? There's no video. There's no evidence. All there is Bill Barr's word and his buddy's word. I'm not taking it, okay? I don't believe them. I don't believe a thing that they say. They're all liars at this point. They have not been transparent about this case. We're 5-6 months out. We still have no concrete evidence about what occurred that night. Nobody took any pictures when they went to that jail cell. They moved the body. The video didn't work. It all stinks from high heaven, folks. And Bill Barr is not a trustworthy person at this point. I am sorry, but I cannot take his word at face value. Everything he says, I have to look into, and I have to research for myself, because I just do not believe him at this point. All right, folks, I'll be back later on, and we'll keep rocking and rolling. I hope everybody has a great Sunday. And for me, today is going to be a day of some relaxation, some research, and some preparation, because in a couple of weeks, we will be in Santa Fe, folks. All right, I'll be back later on, everybody. Enjoy your day.